It's Gianna, Lama Convincing Crypto, where we keep you in the loop on all the latest trends and news of crypto and blockchain technology. Together, we're building a crypto movement that fights for climate justice and economic empowerment. We have another special guest on our show today. We have Wolfgang Leon. He is based in South Florida and has a special Cardano project called Bakrypt. Bakrypt has an SaaS solution for Cardano native tokens, and he's going to talk about his project today. So you can wave hi at the camera if you like.
Hey, everybody.
So we like asking all of our guests one quick question first before we dive in. So I want to ask you, Wolfgang, what's the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word crypto and why?
I feel that many things come out of my mind, but I feel like the most important is decentralization. For me, decentralization is very important in the world of crypto and blockchain technology, because it just basically it gives us this ability to really build any sort of systems and businesses actually around the fact that we don't need a centralized entity like banks or any other type of entity that we work on, like, I don't know, credit reports and all that sort of stuff. um it just basically it gives us that power to really build whatever we need without the need of big companies and big entities.
Exactly. It's more
Yeah.
transparent. There's more trust that way since it's built by the people.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about having your data or other information manipulated by one smaller group.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty much what it is, which is, if you think about it, it's a very big step for us, for us as humanity, because trust, it's a very important part in our daily life. It really tell us to which we're going to connect to which we're going to work with. Even like our relationships are based on trust. So when you have a system that you can trust 100%, that really changes a lot of things. If you think about it, for example, insurance companies, they have been around for like, over 800 years, if you think about it. And these are systems that are based on trust. So when you have um, a business that is based on trust, then you really have to be careful with the people you relate to, and sometimes even your customers, or if you're a customer to which you're to which company you're working with. For example, like an insurance company. So, I don't know if you know about insurance companies and how they work, um, but a big part of it is it's a pool of people. It's risk management. That's pretty much what it is. And they base themselves in this equation that's called like the equation of large numbers. So basically, the more people you put in a pool, then the less risk you're gonna have as an insurance company. So that is very important. And if we mix blockchain technologies, which are a trustless systems, then we can solve a lot of the problems that we currently have in those terms. Um, you know, you're just taking out the trust from the equation, and then you can have an actual proper, very efficient insurance company where you trust whatever is going on, because that whatever
It's more
service
contracts are working properly. That's
exactly.
what you trust. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to trust this company if it's good or bad. It's going to work. And that's really basing what we're basing our company on. A lot of the things that we're trying to build, it's just an infrastructure that can help other companies to build around us, around blockchain technologies, without having to fall into building the entire infrastructure. Um, for example, one of the use cases that we see for like NFTs is insurance policies. Because if you think about it, when you buy an insurance, insurance companies, they usually like sell you the package, like it's a package. It's, you can purchase, combo number one, combo number two, combo number three. But in reality, every insurance policy, it's unique to the person. If you're a certain age, then your prime might go up. If you smoke, your prime might go up or go down if you don't, that sort of things. So if you think about it, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, these are unique tokens that it can be trade between multiple companies or wallets, to put it simple. So when you have a system that enables you to trade these NFTs in a trustless matter, then you have a transparency in the entire ecosystem, and which is very important, because if we're talking about that, over 30% of people think that it's okay to defraud an insurance company because they feel that they're getting, they're getting defrauded by the insurance companies. They have that feeling because there's a problem with trust. So imagine if we have a system that us as customers who purchase policies, we can see what's going on. We don't necessarily need to put like sensitive data like your address or your complete name or any of that, but at least you have a representation of your policy and you can see who has your policy. Then these would definitely help a lot with the entire ecosystem.
I want to ask you, what's your background? Is it in insurance, and how did you get started with your project? I know you're talking a lot about insurance, but do you have more of a developer background, or were you working with businesses first before you started?
Yes. So I'm a software engineer. I studied mechanical engineer back in my country in Venezuela. And then I moved here to Miami, and I've been working here with multiple type of industries, mostly real estate, property management, and warehouse management. Because here we have a big industry and export, import. So we have a lot of warehouses and all that stuff. And you really need software to be able to manage all of that. And also, I think it's like the number one industry here in South Florida. It's the real estate industry, which is very big. And here we have, I work for this company that we build software for property management, and we are all over the US, the United States. So that's pretty much my background, where my specialty is building software for companies to integrate, like APIs, or me building the integrations with other companies. So that's pretty much what we wanted to do. We wanted to build a system that companies were able to integrate with us in a very short time, very easy, without having this a lot of like complicated steps to be able to integrate or to get into blockchain technologies. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give the opportunity to business to integrate blockchains to whatever they're doing already.
So great for wider crypto adoption and helping people really get into it and making their lives easier, so they don't have to do all those extra steps, and you're building it for them and in a more streamlined way.
Definitely. That was one of the things that I realized when I started to get into this, because I came in, right, and I'm a musician too. So
Oh.
as an artist, I was like looking at NFTs and the whole world of NFTs. I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Let me try to make an NFT. I have a ton of music in my computer. So I went around and it was kind of hard. Like I can go and make an NFT, but I have to put it in a marketplace. You
Mhm.
know, I go to a launch pad and I create it there, but then I have to, well, I guess I can choose to put it or not, but it's all living in a marketplace. And then I will have to like send it back to my wallet and do all these extra steps, which also made me think in centralization. Yes, we have a blockchain which is decentralized, but then we're making all the NFTs in one system. And in these systems, they can become centralized. Because if you
Mhm.
think about it, if you put a marketplace like OpenSea, which is huge, and everybody is selling there, then well, we just build the second version of Amazon. You know, we have a very centralized system. So our goal is to build software that will help decentralization, not only on the blockchain level, but on the other layers on top of that. Not only um, supporting the ecosystem of blockchain, but also like creating components that people can reuse and install into their websites, you know, into their legacy systems, even if they're old, and they can now have their own marketplace without having to, you know, build an entire infrastructure or like spending a whole year building something. It's more like a plugin that you can just plug in and boom, you have an entire software and your website. You can now like show a list of NFTs of your own NFTs and sell them in your website, you know, in less than an hour.
So I want to know, you are building on Cardano. Why Cardano, and what support have you gotten from the Cardano community for your project?
Yes, definitely. Um, why we chose Cardano? The reason was because Cardano is a really decentralized blockchain. Um, some of some of the blockchains out there that they say they could be decentralized, they're not really decentralized in their core, where they have like over 50% of their tokens or validators are owned by venture capital or by, you know, these big banks or big companies,
Mhm.
which yes, you have a blockchain that is decentralized. It works like that as a network. But then you don't really have control of what is happening or what is going to happen in 20, 30 years from now. Which Cardano, it has this entire ecosystem, that even a voting system that you can choose and you can vote and choose of how the blockchain will be developed in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We're not thinking in 2, 3 years in front of us. It's decades that we're thinking. And another big factor for us was how quickly can we spin up this service. Because one thing about systems in my experience is that us developers, we don't tend to we're terrible at estimating time. We say there are even books about it, that we say it's there's a book about, it's called the mythical man month, that we tend to think that if we put a man into work, then that's gonna reduce our time of development for a whole month. And then, you know, if you have one guy that tells you it's going to take 6 months to develop something, okay, let's put another one, then it's going to be 5 months. If we put another one, it's going to be 4 months, and all this stuff. So that's terrible. You know, it's a very but it's a very common mistake. um and for us, we realized that Cardano was a very simple system, that it was very simple to start as our own nodes. starting our own pool. We have a pool. We have um, two relays working. We can spin up another service in less than 6 hours. Entire like completely working, and the requirements for the system to work are very low in comparison with like other systems out there. Like other systems out there, they can ask for like, you know, 200 gigabytes of RAM for a server. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, exactly. That could be a service that can cost you from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. I'm not saying that they're bad. It's just they require too much.
The barrier to entry is just so much higher.
Exactly. It's very high. So how can we how can we expect that blockchain specifically be decentralized when you know the tickets for entrance is so high?
Mhm.
So all those things we took in consideration before choosing Cardano. We said, all right, if we know that today it's very easy to spin it up, then we know that in 5-10 years it will be the same. It might increase, it might go, it might increase in the terms of requirements, but at the same time, technology it's also advancing and making things a lot cheaper. So that was one of the reasons why we took that one. Yeah, definitely. And to talk about the community,
Mhm.
um, I feel like the Cardano community is great. They're very supportive. There's so many forums and resources out there that it's very easy to find solutions to, if you get stuck into something, you can go into a forum and make a quick question and you will have 20 answers in less than an hour.
Mhm.
It's really amazing. um that was one of the things that I also liked. Me as an engineer with over 6 years of experience is like having ideas from other people. It's what makes the system a whole, you know because us as a system, as engineers and architects of systems, um we really have to think in the things that could happen and that could not happen, right? But we are human beings. There are going to be a million things that we're going to miss and that we didn't see at the time. But maybe you didn't see it, maybe some other people saw it, and they will tell you, hey, you can solve this problem if you go this way, or you know what, take this route, it's going to be a lot easier. And that was something that we saw in the community, in the Cardano community, that they were very supportive and very quick to answer any questions. Definitely.
Great. So I need to
Yeah.
ask you, because you're in South Florida right now,
Yeah.
how's the Bitcoin conference going, and are you able to attend any of the Cardano events? I was there last year, but I unfortunately couldn't fly out to Miami this year.
Yes. Yes. So the Bitcoin conference was like last week,
Mhm.
the Bitcoin week, and it was great. Honestly, there was an event for Cardano. Um, it has been organized every year. There's this group. It's called Cardano Solutions, and they're always doing meetups here in Miami, and they're absolutely great. The community is growing. Um, yeah, it's amazing how you can see all the people just like supporting each other and just saying, hey, whoa, you have this idea, you have this NFT collection, wow, this is great. And Miami being the city that it is, it's a very artistic city with a lot of mix from so many places. So it's like a big pot, of
Yeah.
people just bringing ideas of things that you didn't even like think about. They just launched like the Bitcoin bowl.
Hmm.
Wow, which is amazing. So, that can tell you something about the entire industry, not only Cardano, but, the entire industry and what is going on, and how you can see this big opportunity, not only for like artists and like with NFTs and the whole thing, but also for companies doing their day-to-day business, that they can benefit a lot from this type of technology. So, you know, that's where we are, trying to push into that and like showing like support for all these companies, definitely.
Yeah, it's great exposure for crypto for all these
Yeah.
companies. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap up soon, but I want to ask you before we go, how
Yeah.
can our community help with your project, or how can we get involved right now?
The way we build this system, it's for other people to integrate with us. So
Mhm.
we also offer like white label services.
Okay.
Yeah. So which is, our system is capable of basically marking everything that you do as a user or as a client. So anybody with with a developer background can connect to us and start developing their own interfaces, their own apps that can use native tokens on Cardano. Like, for example, like product registration. That's a very interesting app that could happen somewhere. Like, I don't know if you know about those, like, the barcodes on the products.
Mhm.
That's actually, that barcode, that number, it's a number that you have to pay. You have to purchase that number, and you have to renew it every year.
Uh-huh.
And it's like $5,000, $10,000 for like a set of 5,000 numbers or something like that. Yeah, it's very expensive. It is not cheap at all. And they there are opportunities out there for any developer to develop apps that, or simple interfaces that can connect to us, and with our white label services they can actually make a profit out of it without having to spin up the entire Cardano infrastructure and ecosystem. So by developers and companies integrating with us, then we are helping each other. you know Definitely, that is something that we can do as a community to grow the entire ecosystem.
All right, I'll
Not
definitely
only,
have your info linked down below so that people can reach out and they can check out your website too. See your
yes,
website's now up too.
definitely, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Wolfgang, for being on the show. It's amazing learning more about your project. And yeah, maybe next time, once you're growing even more, we can talk again in the future.
Yes. Woo. Thank you,
Well,
Gianna.
for today, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Feel free to reach out too if you have any questions. And we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.